you being petty, but I know you just said something about Ross not being relevant enough to do music with. Well, he just dropped the album, and it's the #1 album on the hip hop chart, and he just dropped a book.
How many did it sell? #1, come on.
I'm just saying.
What week was it?
I don't know the number.
Some weeks is 10
Would there ever be a point in time
10
when you can put the
purchases
Ross
make you
thing
#1,
behind
man.
you?
Come on.
10 purchases make you #1?
Yes, depending on what week it is.
Damn.
So that doesn't mean nothing in the today's
Yeah,
climate.
come on, man.
It now appears that 50 Cent has officially stopped playing games with Rick Ross, launching a new wave of public shots after accusing Ross of trying to take from him yet again. The two industry heavyweights have been clashing repeatedly since Rick Ross announced a collaboration with Big Meech for a highly publicized Welcome Home concert. This announcement triggered 50 Cent to fire back online, labeling Big Meech a rat and declaring that the Black Mafia Family series would not be renewed for another season. Rick Ross quickly retaliated, throwing shade and boldly claiming that a brand new BMF movie was already in development under his direction. Yeah,
So look, I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small budget series. Now it's time to do a big budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie F. Gary Gray, Antoine Foucault, what's up? Tarantino. It's a lot of legends. This is gonna be big, I can feel it. I'm just talking.
However, 50 Cent was quick to remind Ross that no Black Mafia Family film can be made without his approval, since he holds the exclusive rights to the franchise. This dramatic escalation, framed as a game of chess instead of checkers, has left fans questioning whether a legitimate new BMF film actually exists and whether Rick Ross has been quietly planning to undercut 50 Cent for years. With tensions building, the stage is set for a deeper examination of the real story behind the claims and counterclaims.
Ross, it's just been going on for so long.
Nothing else works for him outside of mentioning me. When things get bad, you mention it gets covered first. I get covered across the board. They get covered on the hip hop level. It is what it is.
The ongoing back and forth between 50 Cent and Rick Ross has intensified dramatically, fueled not only by personal tension, but also by the involvement of major figures connected to one of America's most notorious crime stories. These two have been at odds for years, but things reached a boiling point when Rick Ross and former drug kingpin Big Meech publicly announced a February concert collaboration. The event was billed as a welcome home concert for Big Meech, who has been incarcerated since 2008. Big Meech, born Demetrius Flannery, was the alleged leader of the infamous Black Mafia Family, a sprawling drug trafficking and money laundering operation. Alongside his brother Terry Southwest T. Flannery, Meech launched BMF from Detroit's Southwest streets during the late 1980s. Known for a strict code of loyalty, immense street influence, and highly organized operations, the group became almost untouchable to both rivals and law enforcement.
Tamara Gatling, I'm making this recording in regards to my dad. He's Dion Gatling. Most people know him as Cuffy. But I wanted to make this recording so I can shed light on some facts. My dad was set up by one of his best friends, which is Demetrius Flannery, also known as Big Meech. My dad and Meech have been friends for 30 years plus. I've known Meech my whole life. I look at him like an uncle. Like, this situation has been completely devastating on so many different levels, and there's still so many questions that aren't answered. At this point, I can only shed light on what I know for sure to be facts, and hopefully one day I will have the complete truth. But in 2011, around that time, Meech reached out to my dad in regards to creating a BMF movie. So Meech hooked my dad up with a woman named Tammy Cohens. At the time, Tammy was Meech's power of attorney. Also, she owned the life rights. So my dad was working with Meech, Tammy, T, basically trying to work on a movie. Finally arrested my dad and we received the discovery. He knew exactly who CS1 was, and he told me and my mom that it was Tammy Cohen's. At that time, we really did not want to believe. We wanted to give Meech the benefit of the doubt. It was really, really hard to believe that Meech would set my dad up. It was almost unbelievable. So we were able to like reach out, get a message to Meech, and basically let him know that Tammy was an informant. We later received a message from him saying that it had to be a misunderstanding. Just call her, she'll straighten this out, so on and so on. And at this time, my dad was like, I'm not dumb, I'm not about to call an informant.
That dominance ended in 2003, when the DEA and FBI joined forces for a sweeping investigation dubbed Operation Motor City Mafia. This operation led to a wave of arrests that struck at the heart of BMF's empire and marked the beginning of the organization's public collapse. Several key members of the Black Mafia family were swept up in the massive investigation, among them Raphael Smurf Allison, Jabari Hayes, D. Carlo Hoskins, Omar McCree, and Jeffrey Leon. Many faced long prison sentences for major drug-related crimes, while others reportedly cooperated with federal authorities to lessen their penalties. By 2005, BMF's once solid structure was riddled with so many gaps it resembled a sinking ship. This wave of arrests triggered an extensive search and seizure operation targeting BMF safe houses. Authorities confiscated millions of dollars in cash, large stashes of narcotics, firearms, and valuable assets tied to the organization. High-ranking leadership wasn't spared either. Big Meech and his brother Terry Saithwest T. Flannery were ultimately indicted and charged with conspiracy to distribute over 5 kilograms of cocaine, possession with intent to distribute more than 500 G, and conspiracy to launder monetary instruments, among other offenses.
I do want to do a BMF film because you've been entertained by a lackluster, small-budget series. Now it's time to do a big-budget film. Which director? Shout out to my homie, F. Gary Gray. Nigga took a picture with Rick Ross. You like, put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now, but for the hustlers.
The lengthy case stretched on until 2008, when Big Meech was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison, a move that many thought marked the end of an era. But in a stunning tone, it was announced in October of last year that Big Meech would be released early. After a transitional stint in a rehabilitation program, he is expected to officially re-enter society in August, sparking rumors, speculation, and renewed controversy about how such a deal became possible. Even with time served, Big Meech still had years left on his sentence before any legitimate release window. This unexpected early freedom immediately fueled speculation that a deal with federal authorities had been struck long before 50 Cent publicly labeled Big Meech a snitch. There were already whispers and street rumors suggesting federal cooperation. One name kept surfacing: Tammy Cohen, a documented federal informant who reportedly maintained a very close relationship with Big Meech. Allegedly, Tammy Cohen played a crucial role in negotiating the terms that allowed Big Meech to exit prison ahead of schedule. But such a deal would almost certainly require more than good behavior. It would demand another high-level target. That's where Dion Cuffey Gatling enters the story, a fellow drug kingpin, longtime friend, and business partner of Big Meech. According to Cuffey's daughter, Tamara Gatling, the family was stunned when evidence emerged indicating Cuffey had been set up.
What I'm saying is, let's just say that Meech didn't know about, Tammy setting up, was gonna set up Cuffey and the Mexican Suarez or whatever, right?
Right.
But after he's found out, because everybody knows she's an informant now, they're still doing the show with her. They're still dealing with her. She was still on the red carpet for BMF with Lil Meech and all them. Don't you feel like that's dishonorable, bro? Like, to still be dealing with her knowing that she got your man banged for 30 years?
Yeah, it's definitely, if it happened like that, it's definitely dishonorable, but you have to look at something else. Like, if she owned everything, if she owned the rights to that, like, you're not getting her off the red carpet. Like, you understand that too? That's her. So
yeah, but you still got the option to not do business with her though, bro.
Yeah, but not doing business with her is giving her your whole life story too. for sure.
Investigators reportedly identified one of their key confidential informants within sealed files, and that individual turned out to be none other than Tammy Cohen. This revelation shook both street circles and industry observers, placing Big Meech's legacy under an intense microscope. With his release now surrounded by questions, the narrative around loyalty, deals, and survival in high-stakes criminal enterprises has never been more complicated, leaving fans and critics alike to wonder how much more remains hidden beneath the surface. Cuffy himself had a lot to say during a leaked jail phone call, explaining in detail how Big Meech allegedly lined him up for the feds. The recording, which has circulated widely in underground circles, reignited debates about loyalty, betrayal, and how high-stakes criminal enterprises unravel when pressure hits. Spending 30 years behind bars is more than most people can endure, and many argue it's understandable that someone might do whatever it takes to secure freedom, even at the cost of being labeled a snitch forever. Yet, according to WAC 100, Big Meech compromised himself even further by doing business with Tammy Cohen and selling his life rights to her.
Nigga took a picture with Rick Ross. You like, put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all niggas to understand you gotta stop making business personal. Get your money. You don't know these don't know you. And for anybody going against Ricky Rose, let me have this. I've been putting my foot up you asses for the last 15 years. Everything you touch crumble. Why you think Rose on top? We don't take this shit personal. We get into the money. Nigga. Now, Big Meech, February 13th. That concert gonna be off the hook. Putting his foot up you asses and leaving it in your intact. You know what's going down. Car show bigger than ever. Ricky Rose, the biggest.
An arrangement that blurred the lines between friendship, business, and survival. This context feeds directly into the ongoing conflict between Rick Ross and 50 Cent. When 50 called Big Meech a rat, he posted a picture with a caption, "I think I'm Big Meech," and followed up with another line claiming the biggest mistake Meech ever made was not maintaining his relationship with Tammy Cohen. Her tell-all documentary, which reportedly reveals the inside story, has become another flashpoint in the feud. For those unfamiliar, 50 Cent's G-Unit Films is one of the production companies behind the Black Mafia Family series, dramatizing the rise and fall of Big Meech and his brother Terry. Tammy Cohen owns the life rights to Big Meech's story and serves as a co-producer of the show, placing her in a unique position of power and visibility. This makes the accusations, counterclaims, and personal stakes between these players even more complex, adding fuel to an already combustible storyline of crime, media, and reputation.
How did Meech have information on you and give it to Tammy so you could get caught up in it? How did that happen? So that means you got to go back to the movie.
Okay, so let me take them back. So me and Tammy were working on the BMF movie. I originally had the script and paid for the script for the BMF movie, not the show that 50's doing on Stars. But I originally paid for the script for the BMF movie, so we were shopping the movie.
So Tammy was involved at that time, which is CS1.
Tammy Cowan, CS1 had all Meech's life rights.
Right. And what year was that?
This all the way back in 2009, 2010.
Okay. So
we proved that there was a legitimate business.
Right.
Legal business.
Right.
So, well, Meech, so let's take it back. The original target was the guy by the name of Fidel Suarez. That was a Mexican cartel member out of California. He was the initial target.
Right. Fidel Suarez was the initial target out of Cali.
His name is in the paperwork.
Right,
Tammy was trying to get Suarez.
For Big Meech to turn around and collaborate with Rick Ross was seen by 50 Cent as a major act of betrayal, largely because Rick Ross once worked as a correctional officer, a role 50 frequently uses to question Ross's street credibility. This element has been a huge reason for the long-running tension between the two men. According to 50 Cent, Rick Ross still acts like an informant who cannot be trusted, and he stated as much during a 2015 interview with Tim Westwood, which has been widely circulated as a key moment in their feud. Beyond the accusations about informant ties, 50 Cent has also publicly criticized Rick Ross's music. During a 2019 appearance on Los Angeles radio station Real 92, 3 with Bootleg Kev and DJ Head, 50 went even further, calling Ross's music irrelevant to the industry and claiming there is nothing about his career that he respects. These comments hardened an already icy relationship and established that their rivalry was as much about business and reputation as it was about music. But the conflict has not been one-sided. Rick Ross has responded with equally sharp remarks and pointed lyrics aimed at 50 Cent. He has thrown shade in multiple songs, given scathing interviews, and even mocked 50's career trajectory in public forums. A memorable example came in a 2020 interview on I Am Athlete with Channing Crowder and Fred Taylor, where Rick Ross openly questioned 50 Cent's musical legacy, calling him an old taker and suggesting his influence had faded. This back and forth had created one of the longest and most visible rivalries in modern hip-hop, drawing in fans, industry insiders, and media alike. The conflict between 50 Cent and Rick Ross didn't just stay confined to songs and interviews, it spilled directly into business and the legal world. At the heart of their latest dispute is a control over the Black Mafia family brand, a brand tied to millions of dollars in potential TV, film, and merchandising deals. When Rick Ross announced his own BMF movie plans, 50 Cent swiftly reminded the public that his G-Unit Films company holds the exclusive rights to the BMF story. This legal control meant that any movie or series based on the BMF name would have to get clearance from 50 Cent before moving forward. According to reports from insiders, 50 Cent's legal team quickly began drafting cease and desist notices and preparing to challenge any unauthorized use of the BMF name. Russ, on the other hand, doubled down publicly, insisting he had a separate deal lined up and hinting that he didn't need 50's permission to move ahead. This bold stance fueled speculation about whether Russ really had the backing to launch such a project or whether it was a bluff aimed at testing 50 Cent patience. Fans, meanwhile, were divided. Some saw Ross's announcement as a genuine power move, while others believed it was an attempt to bait 50 Cent into reacting, keeping both men trending in the headlines. Industry insiders noted how the BMF brand, originally born out of notorious street activity, has now become a multi-million-dollar entertainment property. This shift from streets to screens makes the stakes higher than ever, with intellectual property rights now as critical as music charts or album sales. As the tension between 50 Cent and Rick Ross escalated online, the legal and business side of their feud started making waves in the entertainment industry. Behind the scenes, executives, promoters, and lawyers began whispering about how this clash could have major ripple effects on future hip-hop ventures. With BMF now at the center of the storm, both artists have more than just music reputations on the line. They're fighting over control of a lucrative cultural brand that spans television, film, concerts, and merchandising. Industry insiders say 50 Cent has been quietly tightening his grip on all things BMF, making sure contracts are bulletproof and leaving no loophole for rivals to exploit. Meanwhile, Rick Ross has been signaling that he won't back down either, hinting at new partnerships and projects that could sidestep traditional channels. This kind of corporate chess match, combined with their personal rivalry, has transformed what started as a music beef into a high-stakes power struggle. Fans have noticed that even veteran artists and producers are picking sides, with some voicing support for 50's claim of ownership while others applaud Ross for attempting to build his own lane. The question now isn't just about who won the back and forth on social media. It's about who will actually control the narrative and profits of one of hip-hop's most infamous stories. After 50 Cent publicly called Big Meech a rat, Rick Ross immediately clapped back with a string of IG story videos telling 50 to stop being emotional and focus on what really matters: making money. The exchange instantly went viral, sparking debates across social media about loyalty, power, and ownership in hip-hop. But 50 Cent wasn't going to let the moment slide. He responded by posting a TMZ article highlighting that he is the sole legal owner of the BMF franchise. This means Rick Ross cannot move forward with any BMF film without first getting approval from 50 Cent himself. According to the report, Ross might have to rethink his plans entirely, since moving forward without clearance could trigger a legal fight. Sources close to the situation told TMZ Hip Hop that 50 Cent's contracts give him exclusive control over BMF story rights for TV and film, and nothing about that deal has changed. In his post, 50 even added a sharp caption saying, "It's cool, though, just say whatever you want," which many fans interpreted as both a warning and a power move. This latest round of the feud makes it clear 50 Cent has no plans to ease up on Rick Ross anytime soon, and the tension between the two continues to grow. With millions of dollars and reputations on the line, the outcome of this standoff could shape future entertainment projects linked to BMF.